Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and I am so excited. Today we are in Singapore, and we're covering the Milken Institute's Asia Summit 2025. For those of you that have been following the show for a long time, you know we've been talking about this one for a while. We've been covering the Beverly Hills Summit, the Beverly Hills Global Conference now for 3 or 4 years. We've done over 200 interviews, bringing you, we hope, the best content from the conference. And today, this interview is going to officially launch our Asia Summit series. So with that, let's get started. So my guest today, return guests onto the show. We've worked with each other multiple times before, so I'm excited. We got some ringers here. So first off, Araj Akhtar. Araj serves as General Partner, Chief Technology Officer, and co-founder of Excite Capital, where he leads the development of the firm's quantum-inspired AI systems and high-performance compute architecture. He is responsible for engineering Excite's predictive infrastructure, including its verticized data pipelines, control, theoretic inference engines, and real-time execution frameworks deployed across global markets. Let's give it up for Araj.
Thank you.
All right, and then we have Namoon. So good to see you again. I was excited we were going to get to work together again. Namoon Batulga, she's an entrepreneur, and when I think of Mongolia, first off, Namoon, I always think about you. I tell Chirag, I'm like, all right, we got to ask Namoon, first thing first. So Namoon works across multiple industries. She leads Mongolia's largest meat export company, supplying premium products to international markets, and is actively shaping the nation's tourism landscape through her portfolio of hotels, hospitality projects. Beyond food and tourism, Namoon also drives innovation in fintech and investment, bridging traditional industries with modern financial solutions to foster sustainable growth and global connectivity. All right, let's give it up for Namoon. All right, Araj, so first thing first, let's just start with Excite Capital. Maybe tell us a little bit more about the firm and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So Excite Capital is a high-frequency trading quantitative fund. What we've done is taken approaches that traditional firms, such as the big banks or any of the other larger hedge funds out there, do not use. We've been able to vectorize and use computational parallel computing to be able to predict markets at a level that is physics-based versus just based on sentiment, news headlines, and any type of traditional smooth moving average or clustering type analysis.
So when I think about, and we're gonna kind of go back and forth, and you're both welcome to jump in too, but when I think about Mongolia and I start thinking about AI, I think about data centers. And I know we've talked quite a bit about tourism in some of our previous work. Where do you want to start with that? Like, how do you want to tee that up?
Thank you for the great introduction. So I think everybody knows where on the map Mongolia is today compared to many years ago. Mongolia is best for data center because of the weather. It's quite, breezier, chilly, colder than most countries all year round. And because of that, it's obviously good to build data centers, and also because of the labor costs. So compared to the US market and China, for example, I think we're 15 to 20% less costlier than to build. So I think Mongolia is the best in terms of that. And of course, because there's no clouds, we could do solar, or we have natural resources such as thermal coal. So we could use that thermal coal for great price for electric power, basically. Yeah.
And Araj, so why Asia, why now? Like, what brings you out here? And I know that ties in a little bit to what Namoon's talking about as well, but why Asia, why now?
Well, it's no secret that I actually do have a love for Singapore, like none other. It's a lovely place, magical, in fact. But outside of that, when we look at just the level of comparison to U.S. markets, when it comes to Wall Street or Silicon Valley, that are considered top tier, you have financial global hubs within Hong Kong, Tokyo, and Singapore that are not necessarily still considered at that same level, right? I don't want to say that they're tier two by any means. They're elevated to a standard, but they don't necessarily get included within the first round of raising capital, first access to money, and first right of refusal, if you will. I see Asia as a opportunity where you have a culture that is deeply rooted within STEM, right? And society and technology integrate, but within the culture itself, there's a respect for not only organization, but the advancement of math, science, and technology. And being able to utilize that, it helps us align our capital raising structure as well as our ability to deploy what we see is fit for the market and being able to introduce this to this side of the world. I think there's going to be this opportunity where we can grow high quality quantitative trading funds inside of these markets and take it global.
Can you go a little bit further into your funds and your methodology around them, like exactly what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're physics-based, right? And when I say physics-based, what I see is a river, right? You can see the topology of the waves at the surface level, but when we really get down into it, it's the hidden currents, right? It's the energy states that we're comparing. When you compare that to financial markets, it's price, volume, and time that we are looking at to be able to predict certain movements. Most people think that stock markets are random, they're disorganized, and they're chaotic. That's not the case. There is a certain efficiency within the markets that we can look at, but at the same time, it depends on which algorithmic techniques that you are using to be able to really discern the difference.
Maybe go a little bit into like what you're doing, like whether it's how AI relates to this and machine learning, if you want to tie that in, like go into that a little bit.
There's been big talks about large language models, GPUs, and what that means for AI in general. This is the first time in the last, and I've been practicing AI for the last 10, 12 years, where we've developed our own models, we've deployed them across a global scale in different environments, across big tech, across government, and now we are applying it to the financial markets. When you look at systems that are meant to be predictive and prescriptive at the same time, what is the comparison? What is the difference that sets us apart? Well, traditionally, most financial firms have been based on sequential analysis of what they are doing when it comes to taking in market data, right? They'll analyze, they'll make a prediction, and they're going to execute some type of trade. What we have done is we have parallelized, right? We've made this into a method where we split up transactions across thousands of different threads, different cores, and are able to compute at a scale that is unprecedented thus far. So most financial firms are still operating at the millisecond or second level of data. We are at micro and nanosecond, depending on the provider that we're working with. But even within our own system, we're able to boost that efficiency.
And so, as you look at what's going forward, what do you see as next for like Excite Capital for the firm? Like as things are moving really fast.
Yeah, for us, the question right now is scale. We are looking at building out infrastructure across the globe. As my role as CTO of the firm, I want to look at redundancy. I want to be able to look at how we build out a network that is intuitive, that is efficient, that is not only using the network itself to optimize the data components of what we're doing, but being able to maximize low latency, ultra low latency, I should say, and then highest throughput.
What are you asking investors here in Singapore to consider?
We're looking for good partners, right? We want long-term relationships. I believe Singapore is a great opportunity, not only for the family offices there, the country itself, but at the same time for a firm like us, where we want like-minded individuals. We want to grow people that understand capital efficiency, They understand the risk parameters that we're going to operate within and how you can build that into long-term capital growth.
And Namoon, asking you the same thing. So when it comes to whether it's building data centers or otherwise, partners that you're looking with to come into Mongolia, like what do you look for?
On the data center, I think we have done the most hardest part, which is to build the power plant. So the 70 megawatt power plant will be finished building in just 4 weeks now. And so I feel like because the hardest part is over and we can now raise funds for the data center, which with phase one would be around 60 to 90 million dollars. It's much more easier. And of course, I'm looking for partners on the investment and as well as technology. You were. I think maybe we could also come about some collaboration here.
Yeah. Mayor?
Yeah.
So we are, when it comes to our algorithm itself, a very agnostic approach to what field that we can apply our algorithms to. And when it comes to data centers, that is one of our vehicles as well that we're not necessarily going to mention right here because we don't want to dilute Excite right at the moment. But at the same time, it's energy optimization, being able to put out data centers that can handle volume and the necessity for high performance computing is critical for every nation state. And there is demand. We had a conversation with one of the more popular tech firm leaders. These guys know the names. I'm not going to drop it here. But he has said, I will buy all your capacity. You just tell me when. So that is significant amounts of capital deployment that is readily available, that is accessible, and it should be globally distributed, right? You don't want centralized control at the end of the day.
Awesome. All right, here is my final question. I told you this would be kind of short, but the main thing is we'd like to get other people involved too. This is more fireside chat. So this is for everyone at home and to give some love to the Milken people. So they always welcome us and treat us well. Wonderful.
Do.
Favorite part of the Milken conference experience? It could be this one, it could be the one in Beverly Hills, or any other ones you went to. Let's give them some love. Who wants to take it? Either or, whatever.
You first.
My favorite part is, of course, to see my beautiful friends. And of course, that's the most important for me, to catch up from all over the world, from Europe, America, Asia, and where we unite to create beautiful ideas in partnership. Yeah.
I've been
Other than our events, all right? Other
Yes,
than
of
that,
course.
thank you.
No, the events have been beautiful. We have this wonderful cellar. Chirag, where are you?
Where are you at, Chirag?
We have this wonderful cellar in Beverly Hills that we go to every year, and it's, I don't want to say a dungeon, but it's pretty cool.
It's fun.
It's fun. We enjoy our time there. It's typically lunchtime versus cocktail reception right now. But what I will say about Milken itself is it is one of the top think tanks in the world. I'm fortunate enough to be here because of the relationship we've built with the Institute at its leadership level. And I will say that the relationships, not only at the collegiate realm, but as well as just the network itself, is rewarding. You meet good people, you meet people that are interested in changing the world and making it the most beneficial for the greater good.
Awesome. All right, questions? Anybody any questions? Any questions for the panel? No. We're ready to get back networking then. Let's do it. All right. Well, thank you. Awesome.
So actually, this question for Namon. So you come out of data centers, and people come to mind is the security. So the Mongolia, all the good advantages, but you sandwich between Russia and China. So how you guarantee or give the people the confidence in the world for the security concerns?
I don't think that's a big problem anymore because of the innovation. So we had this question actually because two of our investors are from America. And yes, so the technology that they will use is American technology, and now due to the developed innovations, we don't have to worry about that anymore. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd like a follow-up on that question itself, right? There's physical security versus data security itself. I think at the data perspective, we're pretty secure where there's been advancements in cryptography and then just being able to quantize certain types of data structures so you cannot access the underlying layer. You're in the right space at the right time. Now, physically, Mongolia has been a stronghold for thousands of years. That's not going to change. Geopolitics aside, Mongolia and Afghanistan share a common trait. It's very difficult to overrun.
Thank you.
All right. All right, let's do it.